Hi, I'm Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Hi, and it's afternoon now, and I've been driving quite a while, and I've just picked up another passenger. His name's Brian, he's from Uganda. I did think he was here to play football, but no, he works on the rails, so we're going to have a bit of a chat about the rails and just see where the conversation takes us from there. So Brian, nice to have you this afternoon.
Yeah, nice being here.
Okay, that's good. So first of all, how long have you worked on the rails? What made you want to work on the rails, and what motivates you?
Okay, at first, before I started working on the rails, I was working as a training mechanic.
Okay.
And then it was literally my boss's brother that came in one day, was talking about he's just started the job on the rails. He's talking the benefits of, you get your free travel, you get longer holidays, and if you do it at night time, the money's a bit more better than how it would during the day. So it wasn't too bad. So after that, I went done a little course for about 3 weeks in Stratford. Passed the course, had a little interview with TfL in Houston, accepted me, and I started it. So it's been about 4.5 coming to 5 years now, but I can't complain. The benefits of it is perfect. It's good.
So you did a 3-week course?
Yeah, 3 week course. The course was basically, it was like an English and maths course. It literally reminded me of school. So I went there, ask you about your English, your communication skills with customers, with colleagues, give you a couple of problem solving things, and after that I was practically right. But I'd say the real reason I more or less got the job quicker than anyone else would have was practically because of my old boss's brother. Like, he put a good word in for me. He said, look, this fella's young, he's punctual, he's motivated. And to be honest with you, it was something else I wanted to do. Cars is more my thing. I like cars, I like fixing them, different cars, foreign cars. But the railways, it sounded a bit more, it's a bit more physical as well. So I thought, why not? And to be honest with you, I've enjoyed it. I've not looked back once and thought I made the wrong decision.
That's good. I used to do mechanics. Well, I did mechanics in college as well.
Okay.
I did realise it's the problem with mechanics. When you become a good mechanic, you're just a good mechanic.
Yeah.
Unless you own your own business, but then the cars are changing.
Exactly.
So the mechanics of the cars aren't quite the same.
Yeah.
You need less and less it's more part changing.
Yeah.
You have to have that contract with BMW or whoever to do the diagnostics.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from the maintenance, and when they do really make cars properly electric without having to put the fuel element in there, it'll be like anybody can do the job really.
Exactly.
Changing patterns. So I did body work as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So this course, just to break it down a bit, you said you did about, I assume you covered health and safety?
Yeah, health and safety. Health and safety was the first one we done in the first 2 days. Then it was our first aid, manual handling, customer care, and that was practically really it. They just want to see what level you were. We working with people, working as a group, working alone. But apart from that, it was practically easy, the course, and I didn't really think I would have got the job as quick as I did. But when I did get the phone call, I was happy, and then I moved on.
That's good. So as your role now, what is your actual title on the job? You just work for TfL?
Yeah, it's literally just TfL. I'm literally just with TfL, so it's mechanical engineering at the same time.
Okay, that's what I was coming to.
Yeah.
It's like obviously the railways are steels, so it's probably a lot of metal mechanics, making sure the lines can change and the lines are level. But you've got also electrical element, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got electrical element. With working at TfL, usually what they do, they give you that you put into different groups. So you have the group that literally the steel was there, the electrical stuff. The fellas that just do the engineering, and then you have a few that deal with the manual handling, which is the big trucks and everything that they just literally just sit there, grab the trucks, move rails from here to there.
So the trucks are the metals?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not too bad, but at the same time, with the TFL, you have to be so precise and so on point.
Yes.
That you can be putting a row, even the rows literally 2 centimeters apart, the whole thing's got to start again. So it's like building a road. If a bit of the road's mess, or if there's a bit of brickwork, or even there's a little pothole, you've got to build the whole thing again. So it can be tiring, but as I said, doing it at night time, there's more hours at the night, and it's less busy as the trains coming past. And
it's a constant job as well.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
People always need to travel.
Yeah, definitely.
And things like that. I understand about what you're talking about is tolerances.
Yeah.
Because my background's in construction, so as a site manager, and we work to tolerances of 5 to 10 mil.
Yeah.
So you got obviously ground movement from water levels in the table in the ground surfaces, and so things can move. So if 2 centimeters sounds quite big, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, we work to a very small type, because I suppose in your business especially, people can die.
Yes.
If the rail offsets slightly, or you know, then yeah.
Yeah, no, it's guaranteed. It's definitely guaranteed. Even after we've put the road done, there's at least about 15 checks until we can actually leave outside or leave the track that we're working on. So
does the same team check, or is it another team?
No, it's another team that checks it.
So yeah, so you've got a checker team that will come along and check everything.
Yeah, they'll check everything. So once we've done our check, they'll come, do their check, do another check, test the rail out, make sure everything's a sound. What they usually do, they'll have another carriage. So there'll be a spare tube carriage that will be train that will be just down just aside for us, and then once we finish doing this, you drive the train across, make sure everything's straight and everything's aligned and everything's just on point.
So you just go all over London every night? You could be in a different part of London.
Practically. So what happens is that once we leave, when we all clock out, we just have to look on our little database, and it will say where we are the next day. If we haven't finished where we are, like last week we was on Edgware Road.
Yep.
And was only meant to be there for 3 days, ended up being 2 weeks, and that was the same thing because someone messed up, so we had to start all over again, and yeah, it was much harder starting all over again. But as I said, it's a job that I quite enjoy. My pension's guaranteed, so yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay, that's good. So 4 years. What is your? You said What are you? Are you on the steel teams or electrical team?
No, I'm on the steel team.
Are you on the steel team? Oh, okay. So, is there anything that you wish you had learnt? Look, like you've been in the business 4 years.
Yeah.
What the 4 years ago, younger you?
Yeah.
What would you be telling him from what you know now about that job that he should know?
The pay. Definitely. The first thing is the pay. The pay is much better. Second of all, is the benefits to your job. Being a mechanic, as we were saying earlier on, is unless you own your own business, your own mechanic or garage, there won't be no benefit from you actually just being a mechanic. But with the TFL, the job I've got now, as I said, my pension's guaranteed. I have benefits such as holidays. Like if I was ill, it wouldn't be too much of a problem.
Sick leave.
Yeah, sick leave. So I'll still be getting paid. So yeah, so I'd say it's quite good. And if I'm being honest, when I was working at the old garage, it was the same thing every day. So boredom was creeping in at the same time. So if I think 4 years ago, I would be telling the old me, find a job that you believe in, at least you're passionate with, and it won't bore you. Before I had the mechanics job, I was the sort of person who would have a job for 7-8 months, a year, feel a bit bored, but make sure I'm not out of job. So I'll get to another job and I'll keep moving until I thought to myself, I like cars so much, work on cars, and then they got given the opportunity. Someone spoke to me, told me, look, it is better than where you are now, and I started off where you are anyway. So that influenced me as well.
So what I was meaning by that point is there, if somebody, or let me put it another way, if somebody was coming into the industry now, what would you tell them that they need to know about the industry apart from the benefits? More about the skills.
More about the skill, okay.
Like the job, the actual job.
Yeah. if someone was to come into the railway street now, the main thing I'd say to them is make sure you know your research. Make sure you know about rails, about trains inside and out. Because although I personally was told about the financial benefit of what would benefit me, I wasn't really told about you need to know about trains, you need to know about this, you need to know about learning and other things. So I'd say do your research first before you put all your eggs into one basket.
So talking all about trains now, this new, what is it, HS2?
Yeah, HS2 that there.
What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good idea? Are you going to be working on there?
Yeah, the thing is I won't be working on there, but the HS2, I think it will be good for the commuters. It'll be easier for them going back and forth from Kent and other places. But at the same time, I think it's unfair because I don't know if you've realised, but there's homes that people that have been living on their route, on this new route, and they've literally been telling them, look, we're going to offer you money, we're going to give you money to practically move. So if anything, they're telling these people that you've got no choice but to move, but what we'll do, we'll give you money for however much your house costs from when you bought it, not from how much it costs now.
Really?
Yeah. I've actually got a colleague that works around, so it works with me, but he lives around the area, somewhere in, I think it's near Swanee.
So if you've had you bought that house in 1980 for 20 grand, which was average mortgage at that time or something.
And that's what they're telling them. I couldn't believe it. The fella is actually telling me, like, he got a letter through these posts telling him that this is what they're building. He was aware of this, works with me on TFL. And they offered him the same money that he practically paid for his house 15 years ago.
You take them to court.
Yeah. So right now, there's areas within Kent where there is petitions and things going up. That's why some of the rail hasn't been completed, as so to say.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That is. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, I don't think the government.
That's the kind of thing they would accuse China of doing.
Exactly.
They would. They'd say, "Oh, look at China. They're terrible." Blah, blah, blah. And behind closed doors, they're doing it themselves.
In their own back garden. Exactly.
And so, where does the rail go from and to?
What's that?
The HS2.
It's gonna start officially. It's gonna start from Paddington because they was gonna do it from Stratford International.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but then Stratford International said no because they want to build they want the Eurostar. Eventually, it's meant to start.
Oh,
at the start of the
that's
year,
right. I live next door to there, so I'm not complaining.
Exactly. So
yeah,
it starts from Paddington and it finishes in Dartford. So it's not too bad, but it literally goes through it does the majority of East London, North London, South London, and it's literally 70% of Kent.
So wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. I thought they was doing it like connecting Scotland to London or something. Or Glasgow to...
Yeah, no, what they've done, they've because of, as I told you, people refusing to move and whatnot, they've actually paused it, they've just suspended it.
Oh, so they're focused on what they can do.
Yeah, what they can do for now.
Yep.
And then once paperwork, legal situations dealt with, then it will be going all the way up to Scotland. So at the moment, it's London-based and Kent.
You know, China's got... See, do you know the difference between the HS2 and the bullet train?
I think it's a speed.
So, which is faster? So I've got bullet train.
Yeah, bullet train.
So this is my thing. As a developed country, we're not more developed than China. China's leagues above us. I haven't been there, but from what I understand, what they do, most of those Asian countries are.
Yeah.
But why on earth are we putting in? And I'm not saying this like having a go at you.
Yeah.
Why are we putting in something that's secondary to something that is really vital?
You know what?
So you think about it.
Yeah.
If we have this bullet train, the bullet trains go up to 500 miles or kilometres an hour. I can't remember, it's either one of the two. You could be in Glasgow in 3 hours. That means if Glasgow's economy is suffering, everybody from London could go for a night out or weekend out and boost their economy, and they'd be back on Sunday night.
But I think what it comes down to is the government. We've had a few discussions like this amongst my colleagues, and it comes down to the government really and them not wanting to put too much money into it.
But he's giving millions away to his mates to build bridges that don't exist.
Exactly. But it just comes down to them not wanting to give the money away, complaining, and then having to say, if we're going to do this, we're going to have to use taxpayers' money, and then the public's going to be thinking, well, why? So realistically, it just comes down to the government and their spending.
They really wrecking the country. If you think about it, transportation in general is the veins of the country. So it's the same way we have veins on our bodies. You shut down one of your veins, you're going to get aches and pains and problems. China's done all that. They've got more bullet trains than anywhere in any other country. They've got bullet trains that reach all parts of their country. Now, I watched a BBC documentary say there's no way they're going to get the money back. But China said to the BBC, we're not here to get the money back. Because what happens, if we can get people moving from one part of the country to another very quickly, they will feed the economy.
Exactly.
Therefore, we don't need to get the money back, we just need to keep it maintained. That's all we need to do. Yeah, and that's why I think we fall short. Well, our government falls short.
Oh, that's without a doubt.
It's like the NHS as well. I won't even go into that in depth, but it's like I always say, NHS is not a business. It's something we've paid for and you use if you need it. It's just what it is.
And if you remember, not too long ago, there was talk that they wanted to stop the NHS.
Yeah, bloody Boris. I really wish that man died when he got the corona, man. I think we'd have been better off.
I didn't believe it when I heard he got the corona. I thought there was just...
I don't know if he did or what. I dropped nurses and people who were working on his thing to St Thomas's, and they said he took up a whole floor with armed guards and all this stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on to me. I'm just a taxi driver. So when's this? When does this project start? HS2.
The project it has started, but they suspended it until mid-October.
Oh, so basically when this businesses start back up,
that will come up. But the way things are going on, I don't know if it's going to take them at least, I'd say another 2, maybe 3 years until it's fully completed.
So we've moved this Euro train twice now already. Yeah. We had it in Waterloo, then we got it in, King's Cross, yeah. And now we want to move it to Stratford International.
Stratford International, I think they've only got just the one train that goes through it at the moment. It would make a lot of sense to move it to Stratford International. And Stratford's recently become a spot where people come and... Westfield.
Even the outdoor activities, I go jogging, I use the Olympic pool swimming every day, and that's open now. And then there's so many people working outside, working out.
Yeah, exactly.
There's all those outdoor workout areas, and they have barbecue things as well, which surprised me. So I'm originally from South London, so that's a nice environment, especially on a hot sunny day.
Oh, definitely.
It's a place to be in that respect. So what do you see future-wise for yourself?
I think I was going to do this for another 2-3 years, but recently, I'd say within the past 18 months, I think it's mainly because of my older brother. I've been getting into property, and he's been making me watch Homes Under the Hammer and Bargain Hunt, and actually went with him about, I think it was last year, I think like November last year, to an auction, and I find it quite exciting, like auction, learning about these holes and this and that, and he's been telling me a few things, and I do know 1 or 2 others who recently bought a place, a little flat, stayed there for a while, and then decided to sell it, and then from there they've moved on house and whatnot. So I think that's going to be my plan within the next 5 years.
So you're going to do both and then slide over to one?
And then slide over to the property. So at the moment, what I'm trying to do is just save, get as much research knowledge as I can from my brother and other people that deal with property professionally or full time. And then from there, I think I would slide over.
Can I make a suggestion? Have you considered investing in Uganda?
Yeah.
Because being from Uganda, even though this brother looks Jamaican, he really looks Jamaican for those who are listening. Uganda is I do a podcast about investing in Africa.
Okay.
And Africa's got the fastest growing economies on the planet and has done for at least 5 years plus. Rwanda and Ethiopia have been the safest places to invest in. Obviously, Uganda's got not the Eddie Amin, the other guy, I've forgotten his name, who says the only way he's leaving is from the gun. But point being, if you invest in there, the population grows 1 million each year, increases by 1 million each year, which is a lot of people. They all need a house, they need services, they need these things. Your money will go a lot further there than here. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. That.
And so I would focus on investing there more than focus on investing here. Because what will happen, as it does many times, the market goes stagnant or it goes down. But with Uganda, it's only, or Africa in general, it's only ever going to go up unless there's a war.
Okay.
Now, if you've got a leader in power who's not going anywhere and he's got everything on lockdown, then you're relatively okay. You build yourself a block of flats with your brother, so between you and your brother, one of you or another, let's say you, three family members, there's always someone out there seeing what's going on, collecting rent, blah blah blah. You put up your CCTV, connect it to your Wi-Fi on your phone, so you can have an idea of what's going on. And then you also have someone you can rely on who's going to look after the building. Who's going to look after the building. And the way you do that, to get someone's loyalty, you have his family, he put his children in education.
Okay.
If his children in education, if he messes up, he loses his job, his children come out of education, he'll become very loyal.
Exactly.
And then the only other thing is you can do a healthcare insurance. And then you're set. I would go down that route more than investing over here. You can get more land, you could build luxury apartments with swimming pools, you could aim at tourists, you could aim at the locals. I'd focus on the locals in the sense of standard infrastructure or flats, but then you can add in things like solar panels for communal lighting. Yeah, you can, there's something called basically it's like an ISO container, shipping container, but it takes water from the atmosphere and it makes it clean and wholesome. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So they can use that for cleaning water as well as showering or even drinking. And then you have wind turbines. And then the whole place, and then you just design the place in a way that they don't really need to turn on the lights at night or in the day, because the natural light, you've got a wind changeover from the way you've got the louvers and various other things, and it's all kind of self-sustainable. It's working for itself rather than you having to do things, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest for you. Well, obviously it's your show, you do it the way you want it. You've got a job, and then you can retire. You can spend 6 months in the sun, 6 months here, or 2 weeks here when we have our son. In the summer, do you see what I mean? And you could, if you have your apartment, let's say you have a big apartment on the top of a penthouse, you rent that. You could advertise that to rent if you're not there, or between you and your brothers, whoever's there stays there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I've actually had a few conversations, but it's mainly with two of my uncles who are back home. And they've been saying the exact same thing. But with me, personally, it's because I know England, although it's bad saying, and I've got family and obviously I'm Ugandan. Because I know, I think that's what it is with me. Because I know what I know. I don't like, it always happens, people always tell me to come out of it. I don't like branching out of my own comfort zone. But what you're saying is so true.
You wouldn't be here if people hadn't branched out.
Exactly.
And I mean from your parents coming here to the British going over there.
Yeah.
Do you understand? To even going back to the dawn of time from where everybody migrated from Africa. So you came out of your comfort zone to get the job you got now.
Exactly.
And you're happy. Yeah. You had to come out of your comfort zone when you left school.
Yeah.
So it's not really valid because you've got to do it all the time. And the day, assuming you're not married, the day you get married or you have kids, that's definitely going to come out of your comfort zone. Because now you've got to answer to a nagging wife, a woman who's temperamental, and all the other problems that they come with. Do you see what I mean? So I wouldn't even think like that. There's a motivational speaker called Les Brown, and he says the most the richest, the most valuable things on earth are in the graveyard. because it's everybody's ideas that they never implemented. Do you understand? And it's like the ideas come to you and say, we came to you to make you wealthy, to make you happy, to make you be able to help the world, and you neglected us. You think about that?
Yeah.
That's deep.
Very.
Yeah, so to me it's better to try to not fail. I did in my investment in Africa. I had a gym, I had a car hire, I had a fleet of tuk-tuks, you know, tuk-tuks, yeah? Well, you know, it's Uganda, so we're next door, yeah, and stuff like that, but you lot are more organised, yeah? And I think you've got probably less corruption issues, but yeah, and I'm not, my ancestry leads back to Africa, but my parents are Jamaican, so we're 400 years plus separated.
Exactly.
But I still took that chance.
How did you find it?
I found it was, when it was going well, it was great. You know, I had a cleaner, I had a driver, I had staff, I had 21 staff. The highest was I built the gym myself, apart from the actual core structure, but the fit out and the windows, everything I did. So that was, what was that? That was, I had 85 people employed at one time. I had people coming up to me, thanking me later on for, they were able to improve their life based on what I was paying them. They were able to get into education, and then they could say they worked for me, and then they were able to get another job. You know, all these things, you really, you know, and you brought a standard. I did a lot more there than I've probably ever done here. Do you understand? And that's why I encourage people, not just from the diaspora, but just in general, just to consider where you're going to put your money. There's no room here to do anything new.
Yeah, absolutely like that. Everyone's done it, or everyone's on the same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to open a gym like the way I did, so I've still got my website up. If I was in England, I wouldn't have been able to do that. There's got David Lloyd, you've got Fitness First, you've got Virgin, you've got these giants that just squash you, you know. They just squash, even if they won't even realise you're there. But in you know, in Africa I could do that, you know.
Oh yeah, you've literally just got me thinking there. That is so true.
One of the things, and the beauty is, these are your, once, if I go there, I'm going there as like I always use the term as a joke, like a ginger cousin.
Yeah.
They know I'm of that continent, but they can't place me, so I can't. I have no tribe to align myself with.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the same tribe as Idi Amin?
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you know what I mean? So it's going to be no issue. Yeah, you just go to your people, you do your thing, your uncle, blah, blah, blah. You probably end up marrying one of them, having a second wife, or whatever you do. Bam, you're set. Do you see what I mean?
No, that's very true.
Yeah. No, I have to I have to convince people.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But just on looking on you, they say, yes, he's one of us. From your complexion to your whole thing, blah, blah, blah. And me, they look,
couldn't.
Yeah, then, you know, we kind of take him. Let's put him in the back. Let him sit in the back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's, you know, it's a great thing and stuff. So our trains, going back to the trains situation, have we got the oldest trains like in Europe? Do you know?
No, I don't think we have, you know. I don't think, I wouldn't, that's a really good idea. I wouldn't say England has the oldest train, because we did go, I think it was about 2.5 years ago, we went for a little, it wasn't a course really, but it was like a day trip. It was a group activity, and we went to France. And I was looking at the trains they had there, and went to the south of France, and their train and their network was quite old. And Italy, same thing with Italy as well.
Italy's kind of different. You know why? Because if we looked at countries in a tier, and I'll probably get a lot of flack for this when the list of this goes out, Italy's in tier 2. So if you looked at the countries who are the wealthiest in Europe, you've got obviously England, forget Wales and Scotland. You've got England, you've got France, and you've got Germany. And then if you really having a real elite, which they're not fully in Europe, it'll be the Scandinavian countries, so
exactly.
Norway, Sweden, Finland. And then you got tier 2, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Greece. Those ones that have, major corruption issues are beyond, and they're, mafias running their country, or the people just don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
And then you've got obviously the new countries from Eastern Europe. Some are doing actually quite well right now, from what I understand. But the rest of them, the Albania and all those countries, that's a tier in itself.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I could show you places in Africa that are not spots of those countries, and stuff like that. Still, so politics today on this. How do you feel that this whole COVID thing's been handled? Do you think it's been handled well?
I think England were too slow. This country was too slow. When it they knew beforehand. But when other countries were taking safety measures and precautions, what I remember Boris Johnson and most people saying, "Don't worry about it. It's not as bad as it is." Then it was, "There's no need for face masks. There's no need to do this. Don't need to do that." And eventually it was like, "Oh no, you should wear a face mask. You should social distance. You should do this. You should do that." And obviously the rates were going higher and higher and higher. So I just think how they dealt with it was very slow, and it was giving misinformation.
So let me ask you something. Not knowing what you know now, but only knowing what Boris knew then, how would you have handled it?
To be honest with you,
It's a question that catches everybody out.
Yeah, I was more or less, I'll be honest, I was more or less watching the news, listening to the media, listening to all these top scientists and whatnot, and just seeing what they were saying. It come to the point where I literally used to wait until 5 o'clock every day, from end of March to the end of May, say to the end of April, just to see the latest developments and see what advice they would be giving out, the guidelines, so to say.
Yeah, but how would you have handled it? Let's say you're the Prime Minister, you've got people in your ear telling you this, you've got people in your ear telling you that, and you've got a public who are standing there like children.
I would have just done a lockdown straight away.
You'd have done a lockdown.
I would have literally done a lockdown, and it would have been a national everywhere on a lockdown. So as you know, there's still some places now, such as Leicester, I think it's Oldham up north, that are on their lockdown.
Okay.
So me personally, I would have done a whole lockdown, giving everyone tests. Everyone that got, mainly people that couldn't afford it, I'm being honest with you. It has really affected the poor, and as you know, the black, Asian.
But do you think, because this is where the statistics come in, are the statistics fair, as in, do you feel that people, right, some people say that anybody who went into hospital at that time was designated to die or was told they just had corona, even if they didn't. Because the symptoms were the same as other sick symptoms. Yeah. And because they weren't doing autopsies, they don't know if that person died of corona or if they died of thing. So do you feel that has an influence?
Right, I'd say it's, and on top of it as well, because I had a conversation with another cab driver quite some time ago, and he was telling me he didn't have to say anything because his mother passed away, but she was ill beforehand.
Yeah.
But when she passed away, they said to him, look, it's more than likely because she had the same sort of symptoms as corona. It was corona, but he knew it wasn't. So, I think the statistics I personally think it's completely wrong. I think they've hidden up the amount of numbers of people that have actually died from corona, but as you said, it's because there's been no autopsies, they haven't really checked, there's been similar symptoms. So I think the statistics are wrong and unfair to those from an ethnic background.
Now, I would touch on that. I would say this, and I said this to a couple of medical people I've heard in the car before. When you're saying about it affects people from fam, and that word that they use to describe us, if you're referring to the older generation, then of course, because they've come here and they worked 3 or 4 jobs round the clock, and they never got time to relax or thing, and their body's worn out and they're on their last legs. Also, they never exercised because they didn't have the opportunity. Now, if you want to look at the younger generation, that would be a more fair comparison, because the younger generation have an equal physical lifestyle.
Yeah.
Let's say. So whether let's say if you're a roadman, whether you're black or white, you're all on the same spectrum of how you live.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same if you're one of them glamour girl. Yeah, like follow the Kardashians or all that. Your lifestyle's the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be a fair comparison, but they don't. So, and there was talk at the start that the corona doesn't affect the ethnic minority,
Yes.
and then suddenly it got changed. Now, is there something in that? Is it the government trying to get us on board with their thing? They don't like the idea that we could be healthier than them naturally, and all those kind of things. But it's just food for thought.
Yeah, that's true. I do believe in that. Because I think at first they were saying that because, as you said, the thing that gave us the BAM, they lack vitamin and deficiency, this, that, and the other. I used to laugh at first. I said, that's far from that is far from it.
Well, the vitamin D, I would say, there's truth in that. We do need the sun, and we need to reside in the sun a lot more. I used to get sick very badly, and then when I went and lived in Africa, and I lived on the ships in the Indian Ocean area for the total of 10 years, I got very much better, or totally better, and my health was strong and fit and everything, and that's why I'm a firm believer that I will not live here totally. I will go between the two, worst case scenario in that respect, and things like that. My last question to you is, what's your impact you want to have on the world?
Oh, that's a very good one, That's a very good one. But I like it to be a positive one, but on top of it as well, at this precise moment I haven't got kids and I'm not married. But when I do have kids, I like to be a very good role model for them to know that, look, when Dad grew up, yeah, times were hard for him, but he still had a loving family, he done everything the right way, and I brought them up the right way, showed them love unconditionally. I think that's my main thing, just to make sure that when I do leave this world, that my kids always remember that I was a positive role model for them, and I provided as much as I could.
Okay, that's good. Well, it's been good interviewing you.
No, definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And thanks for the enlightening talk about the TFL.
That's all right. Thank you very much.
All right.
We hoped you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth, and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor, and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.